Welcome to my channel. I'm the Dark Lord of Optics, and what I bring you here is a thinking man's take on guns and optics with occasional forays into politics. Thank you for being here. Alright, let's get this show on the road. This is a first quick look at Element Optics' new high-end long-range precision rifle scope called the Theos, which is what you guys see here on my trusty old 308 fix. The Theos, and of course now we'll have a helicopter. The Theos is a 6-36 by 56 design. It is made in Japan by Light Optics Works, like quite a few similarly configured rifle scopes. Some of the 6-36 rifle scopes you will see around are really almost cookie cutter versions of each other with just different labeling. This guy, not so much. There are several key differences. It looks to be very good optically, a little bit better than I expected, I think, but we'll see. I need to spend more time looking at optics. This is just the first look. So this is just a first look. So in terms of overall image quality, I will need to spend more time with it. I was just sitting here today. The sun is setting. That's why you see me wearing sunglasses. The sun is kind of getting in my eyes. But when I came here, the sun was right over those hills, and one of the things I was doing here was looking at flare. And flare is one of those things where if there is something obviously wrong, I will see it immediately. I didn't see anything immediately wrong, so I have very high hopes for this optical system. But where the Theos is going to really differentiate itself is in terms of overall feature set and the way the turrets are done. This is, other than possibly Tangent Theta, maybe there are others I'm not aware of, this is the only turrets we have that are completely toolless. These are not as simple as a Tangent where you just rotate thing, etc. But you need no tools to reset these turrets. So let's talk a little bit first about the elevation turret. The elevation turret is 12 milliradian per turn. It gives you 2 turns, so you can get essentially 24 milliradian turns. The turret was not designed by Light Optics Works, at least I've never seen design like this by Light Optics Works, and I'll show you why in a moment. But there is a turn indicator. There's a little lever here, and there's a picture of a little turn indicator, and when you go past the first turn, it flips and shows 2, so it's both visible and tactile. There is a number on it, but you can see it's on the little levers on this side or on this side, and you get essentially almost 2 full turns. It stopped here at about 11. I'm not sure if it's 2 turns or if I just ran out of adjustment, but I'm basically easily getting 23 milliradian of adjustment if the mounts are set up appropriately for it. To reset it, you basically sight it in. The zero stop allows you to go 0.5 milliradian below 0. Then you, with your fingers, okay, I tightened it so it's tight. There we go. There is a cap here that just threaded in. You remove that. You lift up the cap. The actual turret is inside and it's completely sealed. And you basically, after you zeroed, you pop it back on with the 0 at the right spot. It's perfectly aligned through 2 turns, nothing moved, no wobble, nothing. Put it back on, and you're golden. That's it. This is all you need to do to reset 0, and the 0 stop is automatically there. The windage turret is covered, but you can leave it uncovered if you're so inclined. I don't adjust windage very much, so I keep it covered. They do give you a little ring to put on a thread, basically a thread protector. Resetting the windage turret works exactly the same way. There's a little cap here. It's just a little bit of a lower diameter thing. And once you take that off, this comes off, and you basically put it back on the way you would always reset 0 on many conventional turrets. The big difference here is that this is done in a completely toolless manner. There are a couple of scopes that give you a toolless reset like this, also made by Light Optics Works. But this is the only one I can think of, other than the Tangent, where setting the 0 stop is also completely toolless. On the other side, there is a regular parallax adjustment. Parallax goes down to 10 meters or 10 yards, just below 10 meters. I tested it down to about 10 meters. Well, no, the closest target I had was 12, and I was able to put it on 36 power on 12 meters without any issues, and it looks like there was a little bit more room to go down, so I think it does do 10 yards. The illumination is integrated into this turret, and the illumination is, you look at it, it's not obvious it's there, but basically it's a push button illumination. So it goes through several levels, up and then down, and it makes for a comparatively less bulky left side turret. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit mixed on push button illumination. Overall, on precision scopes like this, I'm not a huge fan. On hunting scopes, I'm much more tolerant of it because it is, doesn't stick out as much. On precision scopes, I would probably prefer a rotary dial, but it's really personal preference. The whole tree illuminates, and the reticle is, I think it's APR 2D, I think, either 1D or 2D, but basically it's Element Optics latest generation 3 reticle. It gives you approximately 20 milliradian tree. It's a nice, modern, sophisticated reticle, a floating dot in the center. The reticle works just fine, no issues whatsoever. For the purposes of the test, I put the scope on the ATACR mount. There is a 10 MA of slope here right now, and I've tried it with different amounts of slope and dialed back with the turret, and it looks to be accurate. I have not done a formal tracking test yet. I have to return the scope to Element for SHOT Show. When I get my hands on one for a long-term review, I am going to work through a thorough tracking test on a collimator. When I first get a scope in my hands, the first thing I want to do, I want to go shoot with it. That's what I've been doing here. Shooting, the tracking is accurate, right? So within my ability to shoot, I cannot really see a tracking difference. I cannot really see a tracking error. But that's not quite the same as putting it in the collimator, and I'm going to do that as soon as I am able to. Aside from that, there is not a whole lot I can add at this point. I am cautiously optimistic about the scope. The optical quality looks good. The turret feels good. The tracking is excellent. So far, I really like the feel of these turrets. The turrets are definitely going to make this scope stand out. They're very good, and I think they are a step above of the standard turrets I usually get from Light Optics Works. They're not hugely loud. I'm going to try to put the microphone to the turret, see if you can hear it. All the clicks are very, very distinct. I do not have any problems being able to dial just one click in any direction. They're not very loud, although you can hear them, but they're extremely tactile, and the way they settle for each click is very solid. Different turrets have different tone to them. There are some people like this high-pitched clicky turrets. I like the more thunky ones. Not a very technical term, I do apologize. And these are exactly that. Excellent feel. They settle into each spot with a lot of authority. And I can run these, with my eyes closed without ever skipping a click. I can go a little faster, a little slower. I still know exactly how many clicks they are. I've been here, messing with these turrets quite a lot, and I am very impressed. This is an interesting design, and once again, I don't know if that's in-house design or hired somebody. I have no clue. It is a nice turret. Okay. What else is there? Eyepiece looks to be fairly nicely done. I have not had any issues setting up with it. My basics litmus test usually shooting off of the tripod and standing. I don't go very high in magnification. I just spent the last half hour shooting standing in the wind off of the tripod on 36 power, which is disconcerting because I can see all the wobble I produce and all that. Not my best shooting, though it was surprisingly reasonable. But the big thing is that I was able to very comfortably stay behind the scope. I wasn't losing the sight picture. So as far as eye box goes, it is quite forgiving. How forgiving exactly? Well, I'll need to do some comparisons and see how it does against the competition. But as a part of this sort of a first look thing, I am looking for glaring flaws, and I'm not finding any. All the core fundamentals are done nicely. Mechanical quality is good, optical quality is good, the feel of everything is excellent. All the controls are smooth, everything that's supposed to clicks well. The numbers on the Parallax turret seem to match the distance quite nicely. So at first blush, it is a high quality scope, and I look forward to spending more time with it and giving you more details during my full-blown final review. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask.